Hey, what's up, everybody? I just bought myself a 3D printer and it's time to start fabbing up my own car parts. Tag along and see what I can come up with. So this is what I expected. However, once I plugged in the 3D printer and downloaded some apps, this is what I got. What the heck is an STL file? What you mean the temp is too low? Where's the box I'm taking this thing back?
All right, so we're going to be skipping the 3D printer setup. One thing I would recommend is to get a Bamboo Lab 3D printer. I did order 2 other printers before this one and it did not work out well. So I ended up getting the Bamboo Lab and it was like a 15-minute setup. And I was printing something up within like 20 minutes. Now coming up with something to print, that's the hard part. So for the apps, I went with this app. Well, I went on the desktop. It's a site, but it's Shaper 3D. And that's what you can see right here. I kind of came up with these pieces for my car. And you get a free trial for 14 days. After that, it's like $40. So it is kind of expensive. But I tried other ones that were free, like Blender. But those other ones were hard. Like real hard. Like it was like, that's crazy. It was like the app was talking to me in another language. This one right here though, it's easy. It's easy to learn. There's a lot of videos on YouTube where like people are showing you how to do like certain things. Like right now, I'm just taking some measurements in order to start up my new design, which is going to be basically on this video. What I'm doing is the trim that goes around the convertible top, like all the little side trim. I do have one already made out of metal. It's fully made already. It's welded up, but I don't know. Like I wasn't really feeling it. It's one of those things where I was like, I want to try something new. And I feel that every box Chevy convertible should have something new. Like a bunch of cars have a bunch of different things in them. And this car shouldn't have the same things that other cars have. See, and as you can see here, everything's basically just created out of a bunch of rectangles and boxes. And then you can just go ahead and fold over edges. And I created a 6-degree curve on there just to kind of match the body of the vehicle. And what I noticed was that creating long parts like this for a car that are out of plastic, the curve doesn't have to be like super accurate because it'll bend easily. All right, so right here you could see that it already starts taking shape of what it was that I was looking for. And like I said, this was just a rectangle and a square put together with one of the edges rounded over. It's got this nice little curve to it. Oh, it looks like it was a 5-degree curve to it. Okay. That's what most of these cars are gonna have, even up on top of the header. So these were my first prints right here. I printed them laid down, going all the way across, because that's the only way I knew how to do it at first. But they weren't that clean, so I went ahead and just started to do a little more designing, doing the rest of it. I used those as a mock-up to be able to like just put pieces down, mark little lines on the car, and build, just kind of build the rest of it. Like right here, I'm building the quarter glass one, which I would say is the one that took me the longest because I didn't really know how to use this program. And it's not hard though. I mean, the thing is, learn the fundamentals first. And here we got the printer in action. This is what it does. Pretty amazing. It's pretty cool when you can think about something and then just make it right then and there. I mean, I got some friends that would make parts for me, but it's cool when you have the idea and you could just, put it onto a plate like immediately. And you could tell right here now they're being built upwards. But the first time I did that, I actually left it that way and I went to sleep and they all fell over. Well, like 3 of them fell over and I kept knocking the rest of them over. And what I did, instead of using the Bamboo Lab Studio supports, I went ahead and just put my own gussets on Shaper 3D. Now what does sucks is that it does take forever. Like these pieces right here took about 6 hours, I think it was, which I guess it's not bad because you don't have to be there watching it. Like you take off, go do whatever you got to do, and then it just finishes on its own. Like a good example is these parts right here. I think it was going to be like a 3.5-hour print, so we went ahead and just took off out of town to go run some errands, and when we came back they're almost done. All right, time to get into the install. So I got that long piece already set down. Now, I have been using JB Weld. I did try out other super glues, just like a bunch of different ones, a big wide variety, did all kinds of tests, and just none of them held up. I mean, some of them would hold up to a point where you could, handle them and move them around. But as soon as you start putting any little stretch or bend on them, they would just snap right off. And I knew JB Weld would work from the beginning. I just didn't have the patience for it. So I started just using the JB Weld, letting it sit overnight, and that thing just bonds them together. Now on this side right here, it's already been glued, and it's all going to be in portions like this. This is already a piece that's already together, and I did print out little dowels with little holes on the sides of them where these things would just kind of like snap in. But of course, when it comes to fabricating, I mean, you're never going to get it on the first try. So I was off like 5 millimeters, and I figured, okay, I'll just make the corner pieces a little bit bigger. So now I'm back in the lab making some new pieces, and all it is all this information is saved. And if you ever need to make like any adjustments, you just go back on there, you click on one edge, you can stretch it out. It was just a little bit harder on these because when you click on the side edge and you want to like extrude it out, it would want to keep extruding it out in like with the curve. So I had to end up adding another drawing to it that would come out straight. And this is what it looks like when it's on the slicer plate. Now I got to transfer over the original holes from the first molding I had because I already had these rib nuts installed for that one. That way I just drill the holes on this new set and it'll just bolt right up. Anything to avoid putting some self-tappers in because I want to be able to just remove this whenever I got to, just take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. The only thing I'm probably going to change is that instead of just being some Phillips head screws, I'm going to change it to some hex bolts maybe. That way I would have access to it even after the convertible top has been installed. Because keep in mind, since I'm still going to keep that other piece that I have, I could always decide to go a different route. Like if later on I want to just send mine to go get chrome plated, engrave it or whatever, gold plated, I could always just take this off and put the other one back on. Nice and snug fit, pass the test. Time to drill the rest of them. And brother Johnny Desmadre, you already know, man, I got your back. If you need a set, we'll get something done. I feel like you're close enough where I could go and take some measurements and see what we can come up with.
Careful.
See, and I got the little dowels right here, so just pop right in. In you go, buddy. Smack these bolts in. Now the material that I'm making these out of is called PETG. Supposedly the other material that would be better for this would be ABS, but they say it would stink up the garage like with toxic fumes and stuff. So I mean, this is good enough. So I put the new corner pieces to be made. I added, I think it was about 3 to 5 millimeters, and it worked out nice. This is the finished product. Boom. Oh yeah. Now remember guys, the goal for me is to make this car look like if it came out of a factory that way. I didn't really want to have anybody else's look on my car. You know, not because I'm hating on anybody or nothing like that. It's just I feel that these are works of art and everybody should always try to put something different. I'm gonna have to definitely grease up those hinges. I forgot to grease those up after I washed it and cleaned it all up before painting it. Alright, so now I'm gonna be installing the header trim. Now I do have the original metal one, but in these scenarios you need to get 2 of those metal trims. You have to cut one of them and kind of weld them on the sides to extend it. So one of the reasons how all this 3D printing started was I had a buddy from work 3D print me this piece, which I think came out pretty nice. Then after that, I was hooked. I was like, we got to do this. We got to 3D print this whole car. I was even thinking about 3D printing these corner pieces here, but since you actually have to latch the convertible top onto them, I don't think they'll hold. I think they would just crack and break. So for these, I'm just going to get them powder coated. Now for this headliner piece, I am going to try to print one of these out because since this is plastic anyways, this piece that I have that I kind of just extended with fiberglass, it ain't really working out. I mean, it's nice. I could probably work with it, but I feel like it would probably be easier for me to just 3D print one, glue it up together, and then just mount it back up. Let's see here. I honestly didn't expect this molding cutter to work, but it worked pretty great, and they sell them at any hardware store. Oh yeah, perfect fitment. Now these right here I will be self-tapping in. Now just gonna install this header panel back on, or headliner, whatever it's called. Fits like a glove. Now, as I was trying to latch it up, I was noticing there was like a lot of tension. And I think it had to do a lot with when I took it apart to paint it, I didn't put the J hooks back on exactly where it's supposed to be, so I needed to back them up. But that created a problem. You'll see. Big mistake on my end. I decided to start taking this off by loosening them up without loosening up the set screw that it had. Oh my goodness. Well, that's it for today's video, folks. As it is, I always got to leave the video with me breaking something or something going bad. But good news is that you could buy these. They do have them online. I just got to make sure they're the right size. And I'll have some coming in soon, and I'll be able to put those on the next video. And thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And for everybody, if you could like my video, share it, kind of just throw it out there. That'd be great too. And we'll catch you on the next one.